I'm Maggie. If you were here last week, you remember I'm a dietetic intern, and this presentation probably looks pretty familiar. So welcome to today's pan cooking class. The theme today is still mindful eating. And it looks kind of similar to last week, but we've got some different flavors going on. So again, mindful eating is paying attention to the food and drink we consume on purpose, moment by moment, and without judgment. This takes practice, so join us this upcoming Thursday at noon for a little bit more on mindful eating and tips. Okay, so again, what makes this recipe mindful is it does have a lot of flavors and textures, just like last week. We have some different spices here. I think we have turmeric, curry powder, maybe paprika. So quite a bit of flavor. And then we also have arugula. So if you guys haven't ever tried arugula, it's pretty unique, I think. It's really peppery and a really cool flavor. So that is something to observe as you eat it. And then there again is a source of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And so this really helps you to feel full and satisfied from this meal. So the protein will be tofu today. And then the carbohydrates will be brown rice and sweet potato. And then the fat will be olive oil. And then we're also going to use hummus again, which also has a little bit of fat in it. I want to go that way. Okay, so let's get cooking. Again, if you guys are free this Thursday at 12 p.m., please feel free to join us for our presentation. So
great. I will stop sharing my screen so that we can see Maggie get to cooking. Here we go. Okay. All right, y'all.
This is my first time cooking tofu. So if you guys haven't made it before, I'm with you. If you have, then we'll see how it turns out. But I started to marinate it about 30 minutes ago. And it's marinating in liquid aminos, which is an alternative to soy sauce. So soy sauce would work wonderfully here as well. And then also maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness, and then some black pepper and turmeric. So we've had that going for about 30 minutes, and now we're going to pop it on a baking sheet.
Perfect. Are y'all tofu fans out there in the audience?
Yes, I am.
Well, tofu is a great source of protein. About a half a cup of tofu has about 7 grams of protein in it, so pretty comparable to meat, and it's also a really good source of phosphorus and calcium and magnesium, so getting lots of those good minerals for you through tofu.
We just chopped we made sure to pat off the moisture and then chopped them into little blocks like so.
And did the recipe call for a certain type of tofu?
I said extra firm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra firm. Definitely by preference. So I think that's like the best thing to remember with tofu, period, is it can really turn out differently how you make it and which type you pick. So it can be helpful to just kind of play around with it and find a way that you like eating it. And if you don't like eating it, then just find another alternative. The world is your oyster.
So we have the oven preheated to 425. We're going to go ahead and pop that in.
How long are those little tofus going to roast, Maggie?
It says 45 minutes, so we'll see. I'll check it probably in like 20 minutes and maybe flip it around and see how it's looking. So.
Yes, we're skeptical that the recipe is going to take that long. We think it's not going to take that long to roast, so
yes,
we'll find out.
So we've got sweet potatoes again. I also put white potatoes or like squash. Anything will work here. Some people I know aren't the biggest fan. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut these into little blocks. So I usually start by cutting it that way and then lengthwise.
Oh, good. So you're leaving the skin on.
Yes, yeah. I usually
Great.
do just because I like the taste better, but then also a lot of the nutrients, as you probably know, are in the skin. So
Mhm.
Any guesses as to what makes sweet potatoes that pretty orange color on the inside? Does anybody know?
Nope.
No. Okay. It's from a compound called beta carotene, and beta carotene is a precursor to vitamin A, which is important for immune health and eye health, and yeah, pretty cool.
The same thing that's in carrots then, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Just like carrots or any other like really orange, yellow fruit or vegetable. Yeah. I just took my micronutrient level master's class last semester. So you guys are getting a lot of vitamin and mineral pop quiz questions.
so we have 2 here.
Do you need another bowl?
Yes, please. 2 sweet potatoes. Have you guys ever tried Japanese sweet potatoes at all?
Oh, no, but that sounds interesting.
Pretty good. They look very different. Have you ever tried them, Amanda?
I just tried them like 2 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah,
So.
it is quite a different taste, I think. A little bit sweeter, but they're not orange. They're like purpley, kind of purple, yellowy.
Yeah, they are like a really pretty purple color. I had some with like some butter and some miso paste mixed together, and it was very tasty.
Huh.
We all get into that gloomy weather today.
Yeah, I thought the sun was going to come out today, but I guess I was wrong.
It was like, no, thank you, I'm good.
But at least it wasn't raining. It was just damp feeling, you know.
Not a fan of the rain. I kind of like it.
Not
Makes
when
me feel like kind of.
yeah, it just hinders when I try to walk, though. That's the whole thing.
That's very true. Not very conducive to walking.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead and make the cut the cauliflower now too, so that way we can put all the spices in here together. Cauliflower is kind of challenging, at least for me to cut. So what I usually do is kind of peel this away first, so that way you can make sure that you have like a line of cutting to get the roots out.
You get to work on your hand strength with this recipe,
Yes.
for sure.
So once you get like most of that green stuff away, I usually just go in kind of under here and start cutting away at what I think is the root or I don't even know if it's the roof, but the roots, the green portion. Usually comes out pretty easily. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I just
I don't know that there is. I think there is no best way when it comes to the cauliflower,
Yeah.
man.
I love it, but it's pretty difficult for me to.
He's a tricky guy.
Yes. So then I'm just gonna start cutting out some of the branches here.
I like to say with all vegetables, if you have the means and you don't have the time, pre-cut vegetables can be a great option if you're like, I want to try eating more vegetables, but I absolutely do not want to cut up a cauliflower because I'm looking at Maggie doing it and that root is terrifying. that it can be a really great option to help us like motivate to eating more.
Yeah, that's a lot of times with butternut squash. I think that's the one where I'm like, okay, if I want it, I'm gonna buy it pre-cut.
You really do need the mega muscles for butternut squash.
In like a good 20 minutes
Very true.
to make sure that you're cutting it good.
I always make my partner cut those ones. I'm like, you're a strong man. Please cut the butternut squash for me.
So yeah, so we're gonna cut them a little bit smaller because this is like a big piece of cauliflower, and they'll just roast faster as well.
Okay, I have another pop quiz question for you guys. You can use the chat too if you want, but can you name the 4 colors that cauliflower comes in or can be?
Orange.
Orange.
White.
Why? Okay, we got 2 guesses so far. Any other guesses?
Purple.
You guys, I think, are only missing one.
Actually,
Blue.
Nope.
No, that doesn't make
Oh.
sense. Green. Did we
Green.
ever say green?
Ding, ding, ding. You guys did it. Great work. White, orange, green, and purple.
Oh, wow.
And those Japanese potatoes, they come in small size too. Also, they may not look like a sweet potato.
Yeah, very
yeah,
true.
that's true.
They're definitely a little bit smaller than like a traditional yam or sweet potato.
Sweet potatoes are big these days.
Yeah, those cutting those, that's why I was like, oh my gosh. Cutting sweet potatoes are just my cauliflower of cutting there.
We like to
Like-
give y'all recipes where you can get a muscle workout
I
and
know.
eat some vegetables. It's a multifactorial dinner plan.
So we're gonna
Yes.
do like half of it because it called for a small, and I think it was a little bit bigger. Don't have enough room in our bowl either, so that's when you know. So we're just gonna put olive oil, vegetable oil, avocado, your choice, whatever you got. Just enough.
So I've never cooked with avocado oil.
That's actually what the recipe calls for. I've never
Yeah.
cooked with it either, but I know it's more expensive, but a lot of people really like it.
The benefits to using an avocado oil over an olive oil or like something else is it has a super high smoke point. So it just means it can get like really, really hot before it starts to burn. And it's a lot more neutral tasting than an olive oil. So if there's like a recipe where you're like, I don't want to taste olive oil at all.
Probably like baking. would it
Yeah,
be
yeah,
good
yeah.
for. So I just
Huh.
put the seasoning for this, and it's just pepper, a little bit of salt, paprika, and then garlic powder.
Ooh. With our mindful eating topic, like we were talking about last class, it's got a lot of like really good colors and just like a lot of good texture too. Just using our 5 senses, it's it's got some good visual appeal, this recipe. Ooh, it smells good in here
Just
too.
make sure to toss it good.
If you imagine your house is a scratch and sniff sticker right now, it smells really garlicky and fresh. And yeah, it's smelling really good already.
Yeah, and I think it was, you just want to make sure that you get enough oil on there, because if not, I feel like the sweet potatoes can be kind of dry. So I just kind of eyeball it, but there's an actual amount on the recipe as well. Okay, I think that's good. So we're just gonna toss it on the same pan. I really like one pan meals because it keeps it pretty easy to clean up.
Okay,
So we'll see how the tofu's looking too.
I'll do my good camera woman work for you.
Sizzling.
Oh, it smells so good.
Tofu.
Shoot.
Probably should like flip it around too, or actually should probably. It doesn't look like there's enough room on this plate, so we will put it on a different plate. But do you usually flip tofu?
Yeah, I usually flip it. This is, y'all, in 100% honesty, tofu, it's just, you gotta mess with it until you figure it out. So
Let's A little jiggly still.
If you're like, no, tofu's not for me, you could definitely switch this out with tempeh, which is a little bit of an easier meat alternative if you're wanting to try something new, or even just like chicken breasts, honestly.
Or even
So-
like the chickpeas that we made last week. If you really like those, you could probably even do a similar like marinade or seasoning.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I like to say in my pan classes. So if you've been here before, you've heard me say this, but we're just working on that cooking intuition, just knowing like if we see a recipe and we like it for the most part, like we can absolutely make changes that work for our lifestyle and our preferences and whatever else is going on for us.
So we actually are going to put it on two different ones because I didn't realize how much room that took up. So in a perfect world, we'd only have to use.
It's okay. They're kind of mini sheet pans because we're in the food lab. At home, they're probably a little bit bigger than that. Okay, so here's your bird's eye view. It's looking beautiful, very colorful, very fresh.
So I'm gonna pop that in there.
I'm trying not to make y'all seasick as I move around.
All right, so we'll let that roast probably for like 30 minutes, I would say. We'll check it then. We'll probably check it in 20 minutes and see if we need to rotate it a little bit. Got a lot of broccoli or cauliflower over here.
Another downfall of using cauliflower.
We also forgot to mention it has brown rice as part of the bowl. So we did pre-cook the brown rice. And so we have that over there. And then if you don't like brown rice either, like Amanda said, choose whatever works for you. Like I was looking at the supermarket today, there was like farro. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but that's a really good grain. We were talking about just getting like minute microwave rice is sometimes a good option too, if you don't have the time to make rice.
Perfect. Do y'all have any questions about the recipe or about any of the ingredients that we can answer while we're kind of holding it down for a second?
If you just want to talk about something, I really wanted to see y'all cook the tofu like that. And then you're just basically, you just marinated it to flavor it to whatever you want. And then you're just baking it and you're going at it. And since it's your first time, you'll just go over there and poke it and play with it until you think it's done. I mean, because basically, can you eat it before you cook it?
I think technically you could. I was telling Maggie before this, I feel like tofu's kind of like a big block of flavorlessness. So like it opens up a lot of opportunities for you to do a lot of things with it, but you definitely have to make sure you flavor it. And if you're not a fan of like squishy flavor, like textures, I would say then like maybe marinate it and then coat it in something like cornstarch to help it get like crispy in the oven.
Just on the edges, maybe a little different texture.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
it's
so
like a lot of people pan fry it too.
Yeah.
And that probably would help it get really crispy.
I mean, I've actually even had it baked into lasagna, and
Yeah.
they'd kind of chunked it up, crumpled it up as much as they possibly could to get it, to be like, that's fine. And they flavored it. I don't know how they flavored it. It was just, I was just eating lasagna, not paying attention because I sat down to a dinner and I didn't ask questions. I just ate it. I was like, yeah.
That's a good attitude. That's the way to do
Funny.
it. But it works super well as a ricotta like substitute if you're not wanting to eat dairy. Or the other thing I was telling Maggie before this was it's like a surprisingly good scrambled egg substitute if you're wanting to have like a vegan version of that in the morning. So
And I've tried chorizo also, if you've seen that yet. The
I love
chorizo.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying some things out. So can I strange the question a little bit?
Absolutely.
Because y'all are educated, or you're being educated in food and stuff. So if we say like a tofu can do it, I mean, tofu is like a soy base, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump the question way over, and it's new, and I could go to the internet and read or whatever. But what is plant-based meat, plant-based chicken? Is that a tofu they've taken to a really textured type, or a soy base that they've taken to a textured type?
Yeah, I think it depends on the company a lot of the time, but I think usually it's something called seitan, not Satan. So, but I'm 90% sure on this. I'll have to check up and maybe I can send you an email after I double check myself, but I'm pretty sure it's just gluten. So you know when you make bread, like you would get like a ball of dough before you bake it?
Mhm.
Seitan, I think, is you just wash that underwater and then it's just the gluten protein left.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
creates kind of like that shredded chicken texture.
So whatever grain they're using to produce that, this company has decided, or whatever company it is, type of thing. And then I guess along, if they depend on what they want to do, they may add some flavors to make it taste like chicken, or
Yeah.
make it taste like beef, or whatever type thing. And depending on, okay, I was just interested. I mean, they can grow anything, and that's what they're doing. But you're actually saying they're actually developing something and maybe reverse engineering it, or whatever you said, taking it out. So,
Yeah, definitely. There's like some crazy
Hmm.
science with meat alternatives. And those things, I think, things like Seitan, they really are helpful for people who are vegan and like really don't eat any meat. And then like things like tofu and tempeh can be kind of fun, or chickpeas even, for people that are just trying to work in more meatless options into their life. So just depends on what you're looking for, really.
And next, yeah, I don't want to step on any vegan toes or vegetarian toes, but it's just, I don't get fake meat. I don't think I could ever understand eating fake meat. I'm going to sit there and try it if it's around. I don't mind, man. What the heck? I had a chicken sandwich the other day. I was like, that's pretty cool. But it's like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. If I want meat, I think I want to eat meat. I mean, but that's me. That's the way I grew up. I grew up eating more steak than y'all even weigh. But it's just one of those things, it's like, so either way, I find it interesting. I wanted to see how y'all were doing tofu, and I was excitedly and disappointed, but okay. I'm watching this person for the first time cook tofu, and that's why I wanted to check the tofu. But it's just simply that you just do what you want with it. You
Yeah,
could have easily made a stir fry in there with the vegetables or whatever it looks
yeah,
like. That's pretty
exactly.
cool. Yeah, that's really neat.
Lots of options when you're just working with a big block of matter, essentially.
Yeah, and okay, I know this is being recorded, but Soylent Green was filmed to be in 2022. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's okay. Just play with me. Y'all may not even know what I just said, so that's okay. You can look that up later. That's all right. Maybe Patty. I don't know if I'm familiar with Patty, but that's good. So either way, so yeah, tell us some good information. Patty, are you familiar with what I said? Did you catch what I said?
Yes, I know what movie that is. It's yes. They'll have to look that up.
It was
I
set
didn't
in
realize it was in
2022, so that's pretty
I
cool.
didn't realize it was in 2022. That's hilarious.
See, that I could say some other weird things, but that's what my point in life is. And I'm sorry I'm not cooking with you, but I guess, like I said, I wanted to see somebody cook some tofu type of thing, because it's dinner time. So
Yeah, no worries.
well, I mean, really, if you could have convinced me to come up there and eat whatever you're cooking too, as far as that kind of stuff.
Hey, hopefully by the end we'll convince you to maybe give it a try. I feel like there's never a harm in trying, like you can make it once and be like, that was the worst thing I've ever had, and order a pizza and then move on. Like,
Right. Oh, well, really what this particular dish, if I would have changed anything you've done so far, is I'm just not a cauliflower fan. I mean, you could throw in broccoli or anything else, and I'll eat cauliflower too, but I just like, if I would have chose something else, but I know you're doing your own thing. Like you said, something.
Yeah, you can choose any vegetable really.
Yeah.
Even like if you like peas, like the green peas.
Yeah.
Some people like those, but that's just like throw it in the microwave and go.
It sounds like you've got your cooking intuition already. Like, like what you like, what you don't like. You're using it. You're flexing those cooking muscles. Like, I would like this recipe better if we did this. And like, that's exactly how to approach it. You're
Right.
cooking for you and nobody else, right? Unless you're cooking for
Very
other
few
people in your
things.
home.
Yeah.
But
Everyone, yeah. It's yeah. That's, I mean, I don't cook that much. Don't let me fool you, but either way. I mean, I do. Yeah. My forte is apple pies, but we'll just stick it there. There's nothing healthy about that either way. So
That's okay. I'm a big baker too, so it's all about balance.
yeah, and there definitely is healthy things about apple pies. So everything has nutrition. There's apples in it. It's mostly apples. So
just all that sugar wrap. Now, and then also that Earth Balance vegan butter, is that what it is? Have you still been using that because it just tastes and it works? I mean, it really works like butter as far as that goes.
that's great.
That's pretty neat too. It's just kind of, I don't, again, it's either here nor there, but it's just something different to try out.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do like your garlic sauce?
So, Patty, this will look familiar, but we do have a sauce to go on top of it. The recipe, if we linked it in Teams, if you want to look at the actual dressing, it just was a lot of ingredients, and I didn't want to do too much in one cooking class, and so The actual dressing is a curry tahini dressing, and tahini is like peanut butter, if you want to say. It's a sesame seed butter, basically. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to do, again, my little hack with hummus and water, or you guys can add lemon juice, extra garlic, flavor it however you want. But we're going to do that again today just because for sake of simplicity. So we have the hummus here. We got roasted garlic, so it's already a little garlicky. And then I'm gonna do 1/4 cup again.
There we go. So you can actually see what's happening. I'll move the screen for you.
And yeah, this would be great if you guys like curry. Like there's a lot of curry dressings or like ginger dressings. It'd be really great with that. There's one, if you guys have a Trader Joe's by you, that's really nice there. I'm not familiar with other brands, but that one's really good.
Trader Joe's has some good pre-made dressings
Yes,
for sure.
they do. They have really good options.
So this hummus hack, I'm not traditionally a huge fan of the texture of hummus. Like it's pretty thick, but Maggie taught me something new last week, and thinned out, it's so good.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and it's really just your preference. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water at first and kind of mix it up. Just this. This is also really good with like lemon juice or lime juice, just to give it like a little extra zing. But I want to do like a whole lot just because it's kind of strong. How's it looking?
The tofus are looking good. The potatoes are still on their way.
Okay, maybe we should switch them.
I will do that.
Okay, we put the tofu on the top and then the vegetables on the bottom. So we're just gonna swap those around because the tofu's cooking well. So yeah, that's like right now the texture, but we want it a little more pourable. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more water.
I could absolutely see this like thinned out hummus trick. I think you could put this on pasta and it'd be like a fantastic cream like sauce base,
Yeah,
honestly.
I do it for a lot of salad dressings just because I always have this on hand. I don't like to buy a ton of salad dressing because we don't eat salads a lot at my house. So I would say that's more of like a sauce type of thing. So perfect texture there for us. You can go ahead and, even if you wanted to add like curry powder or something to this, if you wanted it to be more of like that curry flavor, you could do that here. Fresh ginger would also probably be really good.
Perfect. I'll use this moment to remind you that after this, we are back in person. Yay!
Yay!
Y'all can come try the food actually that we're making and not just watch us get to eat all the tasty stuff. So our next class, I believe, let me pull it up so I don't give you wrong dates. But yes, our next class is Friday, February 11th at noon. So our lunchtime, and then And then Tuesday, February 15th, we're doing kind of a Valentine's theme. So not on Valentine's Day, but maybe bring your date and we'll be doing like kind of just a fun dinner together. So would love to see y'all's faces.
This is, like I said too, this will be paired with arugula. Have you guys ever had arugula?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not the biggest fan, to be quite honest. I do like it in certain situations, so I think I'll try it. I like it like sweet salads more so with like berries and stuff, just because I think it's more savory, so I like the balance of it. But it'll be fun. It's like something different, and it does go with the mindful eating, not mindless. Mindful eating. Opposite of kind of like coming with no judgments and trying, because I haven't had it, to be honest, in like years. So just trying it, using my senses and seeing if I like it or not. So
Yeah. we've definitely had a mindful conversation today too, of like, we're aware of our preferences, and like, that's a huge part of mindful eating, is not forcing yourself to eat something that you're like, this is garbage and I do not like it. Really noticing how our body feels when we eat something, like what our experience is when we're eating it, just like bringing in all that awareness. So you're not done with us this week is the point. If you want to learn more about mindful eating, Thursday is your day. Come be with us at noon.
How are they looking?
Okay. I think some of these veggies are ready to be looked at. So Maggie's going to start assembling the bowls for us.
So we got the tofu here.
Come
And it
give
actually
you.
does look pretty brown. So that's good.
Yeah, it's looking very crisp for sure.
We got the vegetables. There.
Also looking good. So
And again, it did say 45 minutes, but just to your preference, I think 45 minutes might have been a little long for this oven. So,
yeah.
So we have a bowl here that we're gonna fill with all the ingredients. So we're gonna put arugula and then the brown rice over here in the bottom for like the base of it. Brown rice. So we'll just go ahead and put that in half of it, or however much you feel hungry for. And the arugula. This is kind of a tiny bowl. It's all that we had on hand, so put a little arugula in there.
Definitely feel free to make yourself bigger servings.
Yes.
This is the point.
So we got that half and half there, kind of as the base of the bowl. We'll come over here. Scoop up some of the tofu. And same thing with the vegetables. And then I'll try my best to drizzle it all pretty, but
This is the real stuff, folks, not the perfect Food Network, apparently.
yes, no.
We're trying our best.
And go to put however much, you want on. But that's kind of what it will look like.
Beautiful.
Looks good.
Looks good. Yeah, looks great.
Thank you.
Looks good.
Do you guys plan on making it at all?
In a different fashion,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird because I'm going to I probably won't jump on the tofu thing too much, but with the meat and, your hummus sauce is just a crazy idea. You can do anything with that.
Yeah,
As far as that
this
goes.
is really good. Like it's called a Nourish Bowl, so it's kind of just like a cool idea of making it your own. Really easy lunch or even dinner. So yeah, I hope you try some sort.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good.
Any questions or anything that we can answer for y'all before we say goodnight for the night?
What did you say was going on Thursday?
We have a Wildcats educational series on mindful eating.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, it'll be a super fun one. There's a lot of activities, so not a lot, but there's some activities, so you get to participate in this one a little bit.
This was really good. I mean, that looks really good. I mean, it's definitely right in line with eating goods and rice.
Great. That's
Throwing some
fantastic to hear. Well, it was good to see y'all, and I hope you have a good night, okay?
Thanks, Maggie. Thanks, Amanda.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys.